Is back with the Cowboys. That's a song I just made up for Jayron Kearse to the tune of Celebration. Jayron Kearse is still a cowboy. Do do do. So this is your emergency welcome back to Jayron Kearse stream. 2 years, $10 million, up to $11 million. Jayron Kearse going to stay with the Cowboys, and my friends, that's big. Jayron Kearse is good. Jayron Kearse was a huge part of what the Cowboys did last year on defense. Everything that he brought to the table. That's like the most wrong I've ever been probably on a player coming into the NFL is Jayron Kearse. Holy cow. I thought he didn't care about football, didn't try hard, wasn't very good. And that dude was huge for Dallas. And now he'll be sticking around, which is great. So welcome back to Jayron Kearse. Great contract. Only wish it was longer from Keith. Yeah. I don't think you could get longer because I think Kearse was probably not real happy with it being $5 million a year. And it just turned out that because he hadn't been this sort of player before, and maybe it was just opportunity. That's what he says. Like, hey, this is the first time I had a chance. I must have done something wrong because multiple people are telling me they didn't get notifications. Hey, welcome. Thanks from Romania. Anyway, Jayron Kearse, 2-year deal, $10 million. And I feel like he would have wanted considerably more, but then he came to the realization that for whatever reason, he didn't have a big market, probably because he hadn't had a lot of opportunities before. And so he's had 1 year where he was good. But dude, Jayron Kearse was very good. To be a dude who makes, we have 9 tackles for loss, 10 pass breakups. He was good in every facet of the game. Yeah, we got Kearse back. Mr. Dreadlock on the Twitch. We show did. Yes, Jayron Kearse back, which means that they're down to just a few things that I want to see them do before it's time to go drafting. Are they bargain shopping again? Are they going to carry this money over? Either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, if they don't spend it this year, then they have it next year. So like that doesn't, I know some people just like to talk crap about the Cowboys front office. So it's like, they're cheap. If you keep it, you get to spend it later. And that's fine too. Isn't this great news for Jayron Kearse and the Cowboys to come back? Pairing him with Dan Quinn is the best for him. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. It's good for everybody. So now I look at the Cowboys roster and I say to myself, okay, so what do they still have to do, right? At quarterback, you got Dak and then the people. Greer and Rush and who cares? Can you tell us how much cap space they have available now? I can. Hold on. Let me get that for you. And then we'll go over the roster and see what's still left to do before we go drafting. Cowboys were listed at $26.9 million in cap space. The Kearse deal hasn't hit on here yet. Generally speaking, 2 years, $10 million. The first year will probably be 3 or 4 on the cap. The second year will probably be 6 or 7. So they're still going to have $23 million, give or take. They're going to be in good shape. Okay, so Jayron Kearse is back. So at quarterback, you have Dak and the other guys. At running back, you have Zeke, Pollard, Dowdle, Siwo. You have guys. You're fine at running back. At wide receiver, you now have CD, Gallup, James Washington, Noah Brown, Simi Fehoko. So keep that position in mind because that ain't done. Tight end, you have Dalton Schultz, Jeremy Sprinkle, Sean McEwen. That's fine. You can play with that for a year. Offensive tackle, you have Tyron Smith, Terrence Steele, Josh Ball. Offensive guard, you have Zach Martin, Connor McGovern, Matt Farniok. Center, you have Biotish, right? So on offense, they still need to add a receiver. I guess maybe even needs the wrong word. Could you go play with that? And that's a functional NFL wide receiver core? Sure. But I'm definitely not satisfied with that at all. So you are still going to add a wide receiver to that group. You could add a tight end to be planning for next year when Dalton Schultz, if they don't do a long-term deal, when that franchise tag will be up, which that's just playing the long game in the comp pick world. Let Schultz put up big numbers again, then let him walk, get like a comp 3. There we go. But yeah, you could sign Dalton Schultz at some point to a long-term deal, and then you'll have even more cap space. At tackle, you have your starters. The Cowboys love Terrence Steele. I do think you're short a guy. thinking that Josh Ball, after essentially redshirting for a year, is going to be capable of being the backup offensive tackle on both sides. I wouldn't trust it, and I don't think they do either. So you probably still need an offensive tackle. At guard, you need a starting left guard. They don't want McGovern on the field. Neither do I. Neither do you. Matt Farniok, 7th-round pick, who you haven't really seen do anything. You ain't banking on that either. Biotic at center, okay. If you could upgrade, great. But at wide receiver or at offense, what do you really still have left with Jayron Kearse coming back? You need on offense a wide receiver, a left guard. That you need. Okay. Defense. On the edge, you brought in Dante Fowler. You have Tank Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, Terrell Basham, Bradley and Eyes on the practice squad. So not a group that I would love right now. I'd like to upgrade it. But could you conceivably say, hey, Tank and Dorrance are our defensive ends and their backups are Basham and Fowler? Sure. Good. Defensive tackle, you have Gallimore, Odigizua, Hill, Bohanna. That's what you got. Could you play a season with those as your 4 defensive tackles? Yes. Is it going to be a good group? No, probably not. But you're not forced to do anything there. You brought back Luke Gifford. You brought back Leighton Vander Esch. You have Parsons and Jabril Cox at linebacker. You're probably short one there. And at corner, you got Trayvon Diggs, Kelvin Joseph, Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, Nashawn Wright, CJ Goodwin. Could you play with that? Sure. And at safety with Jayron Kearse back, you'll now have Malik Hooker and Jayron Kearse as your safeties, and you have Donovan Wilson. So that is what your team looks like at the moment. So on defense, what do you need? I guess you could throw in Mukwamu as a 4th safety. So in theory, you could roll with the secondary that you have right now. You could roll with the linebackers you have right now. You probably need to add 1. You could roll with the edges that you have now. You probably need to add at least 1. And at defensive tackle, you could roll with that. I would like them to add 1. So they've done almost the job. Details on the Kearse deal. Yes, details on the Kearse deal. 2 years, $10 million, up to $11 million, depending on incentives. So that is Jayron Kearse's deal right now. Now, offense, as I said, you need a starting left guard. You need I think, starting wide receiver. You need that. And if they could, in free agency, still add either Bobby Wagner or Zadarius Smith, then I think you would feel really good going into the draft. Outside of left guard, you got to do something at left guard. If they don't do it in free agency, then they are screaming from a mountaintop that, hey, guess what we're doing in the 1st or 2nd round? We're taking our starting left guard. So you need to do something in free agency or that pick is coming. That's going to be the pick. Get ready for it. Could the Cowboys add both Wagner and Zadarius Smith? Yeah. Money-wise, they absolutely could. You're not worried about Zadarius' back and history of missing games? Yeah, because backs don't generally get better, and he's creeping up on 30. So I don't love it, but it's probably the reason that he's available, which makes it so Cowboys. So Cowboys. You take a 1-year, $10 million flyer or a 2-year, $20 million flyer that's really a 1-year deal, and you go with that and see how he is. That is such a Cowboy deal. James Washington signing underrated. I get that thought, and that thought has to be banked on. Look at Sparks rocking the Jeff emojis or emotes. But James Washington has never been a good wide receiver in the NFL. But if you just blame Roethlisberger and that offense for that, then you could have some hope. But by no measure, I mean, in terms of catches, yards, caught, target percentage, like he's never been, and he's been mostly an outside wide receiver more than the slot. He plays he's played about 3 times as many snaps outside as in the slot. So I don't think that you want to count on James Washington as one of your 3, but maybe that was just the fact that, man, he wants to be and needs to be a down the field receiver. And they had a dude whose arm was absolutely shot in Pittsburgh. But I agree. Washington is more of a 4th wide receiver on the depth chart. He's an insurance type of dude. What have you heard from Isaac Alarcon? Nothing. he'd be an awesome story if he were able to be a swing tackle and go play in the NFL. I don't know if he'll get there, but it would be kick-ass if he did. Neville, Osa, and Big Bo going to be fine, y'all. Maybe. Smith signed with the Vikings. If he did, it was in the last 5 minutes because Zadarius Smith was visiting the Vikings, but visiting does not equal signed. Let me take a peek real quick. Nope, he's just visiting. So, yeah, he's there right this second, actually. We'll see if he signs there, and maybe he will. I hope he doesn't, because I hope he's a Dallas Cowboy. Who cares? We still suck. Kearse had 0 mark. Okay, Danny, I get the feeling that you just can't. You're not going to be happy. You're Danny. Damn it, you're just not going to be happy. The dude had over 100 tackles, and not the half-ass tackles like the Jalen Smith. Oh, sweet, you tackled a bunch of dudes for 8-yard gains, and they got a first down, and you celebrated. But like real life around the line of scrimmage, kick-ass tackles, and pass breakups, and covering tight ends. Whether you want to hate the team forever or not, Jayron Kearse coming back is good. It's good. Arden Key, should we take a look? Maybe. Whatever. That's a guy. Will the Cowboys address the O-line during free agency? I hope so, and it's possible. Maybe they'll consider that, hey, if we had to, McGovern could go play. I would hate it, and they would hate it. So I don't think they believe that. So that's the one place left that I think we still probably need to hear a signing before it's draft time is at guard. You need to hear that. And I could do for hearing that they've signed another edge or another wide receiver too, and then you can go draft. Do you think Keanu Neal moving back to safety changes our need for safety in the draft? Keanu Neal's not under contract, is he? Keanu Neal's gone. He's saying that he's going to change positions again because that's what you do after you have a bad year and you want somebody to sign you is you say, hey, it's because of where I was playing. I'm better than that. He was a guy that didn't work out. Jeff, come to Kentucky. Free round of golf and beers on me. I don't think that would pay for my trip, Michael. You come to Dallas. You worried at all with diminishing returns or regression from Micah if he rushes the passer more? Absolutely not. Micah is a monster no matter where he lines up. The end. We need a proven one tech. That'd be nice too. If they signed a nose tackle, that would be a nice one too. But I just wanted to pop on because Jayron Kearse was back. And if Jayron Kearse is back, it calls for an emergency stream and a hello. We did it. Woot, woot. We kept a guy that we needed to keep. Good for Cowboys. Good job, team. And now I'm going to go. I don't know what I'm going to go do. I don't have anything to do, but I'm going to go. Oh, wait. Who is your one perfect pick at number 24? Sky Moore. Zion Johnson or Kenyon Green. Offensive guard. Plug him in at left guard. Leave it alone for 5 years and don't worry about it. What's your thought on Treader, J.C. Treader, who'd been released from Cleveland? Doesn't count against the comp picks. If you think that he is a considerable upgrade over Tyler Biadasz, you sign him. Thoughts on Kelvin stepping up to be CB2? I hope so. He was asking where to get good crawfish, and so Hellman and I are trying to get him to come to the house for a boil. Super chats? Did I miss any? Did I miss any super chats? Dude. Coming up from, hello, Jonathan. Coming up from Austin to the Fort Worth area for the draft, an idea on things to do around the area. Love your content, your outlook on life. Yeah, if you're going to be in Fort Worth, downtown Fort Worth is super walkable, so Fort Worth is awesome. Literally just walk around and walk into random bars and restaurants. If you like country music, go to Billy Bob's on a Friday or Saturday night and see who's playing and enjoy it. Antoine, do you think Matt Farniok could put pressure on Tyler Biadasz? I was impressed with him. And go draft or free agent a guard. You could. It's just hard. When you haven't seen a body of work from a 7th round pick, it's easier to think that he won't make the team for me than it is to think he's going to take a starter's job, especially a starter that wasn't awful. And I'm not going to make the case that Biadasz was good, but he wasn't awful. Eagles rule. What is this? Where does Tyrann Mathieu sign? Also, how do you rank the top 3 corners and where do you see them landing? Oh, hello, Eagles fan. I don't know where Honey Badger goes. I would imagine he's going to be an $8 to $10 million player per year, and I'll have to get into team needs before I do that. My top 3 corners are Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati's number 1, Derek Stingley, LSU is number 2, Trent McDuffie, Washington is number 3. And I think the first 2, maybe gone by the time the Eagles pick at 15, but you might have a shot at Stingley. I don't think you'll have a shot at Sauce Gardner. So that's the top 3. Wagner or Smith, if you only have to sign only one, I would go Zadarius Smith. I would take the edge guy. Both are reasonably need, but I think Zadarius upgrades you at right D end considerably, and he plays defensive end, which is more important. It's funny other fans come to visit. I could never. I want everybody to come up in here. Jeff, where exactly are we cap room wise? Can't find the updated numbers. Well, if you just go to overthecap.com, they'll get it at some point. But they were at, I forgot, I said it a minute ago, like 26.9. So they're probably somewhere around 23 million because they'll have the count more next year than this year. Could Biotish benefit from a better, more consistent left guard play? Sure. For sure. Does signing Kearse mean no Honey Badger? Probably. I think they're comfortable with Malik Hooker and Jayron Kearse as their starting safeties. And it could work out that the safety group the Cowboys have now is a really good value because Hooker didn't get much money, Kearse didn't get much money, and Kearse has already shown that he's already balled out. He played better than a $5 million player. And Hooker is now going to be 18 months removed, or even further, from an Achilles injury and played better and more as the year went along. So they might actually have a good safety tandem. Do you think the Rangers can average 19 runs a game? No, I don't. Yeah, and you have Donovan Wilson, but that's your depth guy. All right. I love you guys. Jayron Kearse is back. Here's a Cavanaugh song for you to celebrate. I don't have my headphones, so I can't hear it. But I bet it sounded great. I didn't forget Golston, did I? Did I not say his name? Oh, I didn't say his name. I'm sorry. Yeah, Golston, and then an eye on the practice squad. So yeah, in theory, you have enough guys to do a mock. I'll do a mock tomorrow or tonight. All right. Peace out, people. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Some people are bitter and toxic, but be nice to them anyway.